Alrighty, guys, we're back for Big Blue, and this is an Outlaws of Thunder Junction standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a suggestion down in the comments, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. It was essentially to play Mono Blue Jin-Gitaxias, Progress Tyrant. It's a 7 mana 5/5 legendary creature. Whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn, and then of course a copy of a permanent spell becomes a token. Nice. Whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you counter that spell. This ability triggers only once each turn. A very powerful top-end blue creature, guys. And what we're going to be pairing this with is actually Simulacrum Synthesizer. It's more so a synthesizer deck that also happens to be running Jin-Gitaxias here. So this is a 3-mana artifact. When it ETBs, you scry 2. Whenever another artifact with mana value 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with. This creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Beautiful stuff, man. So yeah, all 4 of them packed in. It's gonna do the thing, and the whole deck is actually just based around copying the synthesizer. So whether you already have Jin-Gitaxias on the board for some reason and you play synthesizer, then you get a copy of it too. The more synthesizers you have on the board, the more disgusting this becomes, and those constructs get big really, really fast. So we do have other ways to actually copy this in here, like 3 steps ahead, for example. That middle ability for +3 spree is create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control. Also, just acting as a generic counterspell is going to be good. Acting as a little bit of card draw is going to be good. Yeah, 3 steps ahead is probably going to be pretty good in here. Now, we do have other artifacts that are going to pair beautifully with the synthesizer, like all 4 Thran Spiders actually acting as ramp in here too, and hopefully it ramps us better than it ramps our opponents. We also have Celestus in here, also acting as ramp. Celestus always does the thing for me. We also have all 4 Mightstone and Weakstones, more card draw. This is actually some of the removal of the deck too. There's not too much removal, but we do have some tempo removal with Machine over Matter. It's a 2 mana instant speed, and it costs 1 less to cast if you control an artifact creature, which is hopefully easy enough in here. So just for 1 blue, potentially, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, which is actually pretty good. Even at 2 mana, that's not a bad ability. Some more artifact creatures that we have packed into work with, like Machine over Matter, is actually just more ramp here. Oaken Siren, 2 mana, 1/2 flying, Vigilance. So you can tap this to get a blue mana, and then you can spend this mana only to cast artifact spell or activate an ability of an artifact source, which is pretty much everything in here, honestly. The one thing you're not ramping into is the Jin-Gitaxias, because unfortunately it's not an artifact in and of itself, but still. More top-end artifacts. Check this out, guys. Hulking Metamorph, or as I said in the past, Hulking Metaphor. This is a 9 mana 7/7, but it has prototype for 2 and double blue, luckily, so we are going to rearrange this a little bit, as you're going to activate it at prototype way more often than you drop this as a 9-drop. But ETBs as a copy of an artifact or creature you control, except it's an artifact creature in addition to its other types, and its power and toughness are each equal to Hulking Metamorph's power and toughness. So turn 3 synthesizer, turn 4 Hulking Metamorph sounds good enough to me, man. Copy that synthesizer and you are very happy about it. More top end here. You got a couple portal to Phyrexia at 9 mana. It's going to be pretty steep. Hopefully all the extra Power Stone ramp helps us get there easily. There's actually going to be other ways to get this portal down for a little bit cheaper too. We have a couple Nexus of Becoming. 6 mana artifact. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you draw a card. Nice. Extra card draw really comes in handy. Then you may exile an artifact or creature card from your hand. If you do, create a token that's a copy of the exiled card, except it's a 3/3 golem artifact creature in addition to its other types. So a lot of cool things you can do with this, man. Of course, like an early portal could be awesome. Get that early portal ETB and everything going too. But also you could totally do that with Jin-Gitaxias. Then it totally does enter as an artifact creature golem. So that's neat to say the least. Nexus of Becoming, we have 2 of them in here for a reason. I would love to see this do a thing today. We also have the Inner Sun as well. Spells you control can't be countered. At the beginning of your end step, you discover 5, and discovering 5 in a deck that has like Mightstone, Weakstone just seems really powerful to me. Over in the mana base, guys, this sketches me out a little bit. Maybe it'll sketch you out too. Only 24 land. And look at this average cost, 4.3. Of course, like prototypes and everything, and hopefully we're ramping enough with everything else too, between the Siren, the Thran, the Thran Spider, Celestus, Mightstone, Weakstone. Hopefully 24 is enough, but we do have some utility land over here. Soaring City, we also have the Vault too. We have Hall of Tagsin, as well as the Hidden Cataract, which again, the Discover on this seems like it wouldn't be too bad. With Discover 4, you could hit like Synthesizer and stuff. Yeah, just some utility land packed into our 24 land list here. Some honorable mentions. All of these almost made the cut. I almost threw Treasure Map in here instead of the Oaken Siren, but I think Oaken Siren's going to be a little better, especially since we have the Machine over Matter as well. Stern Lesson almost made the cut too, as well as Cityscape Leveler. It feels a little silly not having this in here, so definitely something to consider. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. In the meantime, let's take this into some ranked and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Gotta be real with you guys. I'm expecting a little bit. I think that Synthesizer card is wild. I think it should be relatively easy to pop off too. Just hopefully we have enough in here to survive the early turns to ramp successfully. Ooh, I like this hand. We go first for some reason. I'll take it all. All right, we'll start with the island. Yeah, hopefully we have enough to survive the early turns. Get a Skrelv down, huh? Okay, another island. We'll get the Hall down next turn, and probably Celestus over Thran Spider. Thalia. Okay, I guess it's Thran Spider. I suppose at that point, maybe we would have wanted to set up with Synthesizer anyways. My first thought was earlier ramp means earlier Mightstone, Weakstone, but we'd still want Synthesizer down first, probably. Yeah, Thalia is going to be a problem for this list, but hopefully the extra tax isn't going to be too much overall. And hopefully this Power Stone doesn't do anything for them, because I suppose they could have other artifacts and stuff packed in. So at this point, we'll have the 4th mana already for the Synthesizer, which I suppose is fine. We could go Celestus first. Have 2 mana. I guess it won't do anything though. Portal to Phyrexia. Yeah, Thalia is going to be a big problem. Thran Spider is such a good blocker too, guys. At a 2/4 with reach that does all that. All right, here comes the Synthesizer. Get that down and established, and the more turns we have with it, the better it gets. 3 steps ahead. It takes 5 mana if we want to copy the Synthesizer. You know what, dude? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep both of these, actually. I'm going to put the island on top, I guess. That way we have more options next turn. Because if we play the island and we need, like, Mightstone, Weakstone for 6, then that's what we'll do. No attacks. Now it just comes down to survival until the Synthesizer pops off. Plaza. Hallandal. Bro, what's up? That is terrifying. Oh my goodness. This is not the list I thought I was up against, but I should have tried to guess because of the Plaza. I am going to block while we can. Yep, because they could find removal for the Spider next turn. I don't know what the removal would be in a Legends list, but they got the Vanguard in here, so it could still be like a Brutal Cathar. So 6 mana comes down. We could use the Mightstone Weakstone to remove the Vanguard so we can get around the ward on these guys. We will get the Synthesizer rolling. We go 4 mana for Celestus. We'll only have 3 mana available. Is not enough for the 3 steps ahead for anything on it because Thalia is taxing us too much. So if we go Mightstone Weakstone, we'll have 2 open. We can take the Vanguard. No, we can't. We can't. Oh, guys, I almost overlooked this Skrelv over here. We'd have to pop the Skrelv first. Dude, what do I do? At 6 mana, we could keep 1, 2. Keep this open for their turn. Try to get a really good block in. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's pass it back. Let's do that. Let's just go for the 3 steps ahead trick with the synthesizer. And try to get a great block. Yeah, this is tough. But, like, blocking into the Vanguard. Uh-oh, they have 5 mana. Okay, it's just a hopeful initiate for now. Could go for... Actually, we can't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We would need 7 total if we want to counter something. Anointed Peacekeeper. Holy cow, dude, we're in so much trouble. Maybe we should just counter that. They probably choose this to tax, right? 1, 2. We'll still have 6, but they'll know it's in hand now. Maybe they'll still swing, but probably not. Okay, we stay on target, I suppose. They might call something else here with the Peacekeeper. Opponent rocking the humans, and I am terrified. Naya humans right now. So I saw Plaza, I saw Highlandale, I thought maybe Joda humans. But right now, kind of just looks like... Oh, they call them Mightstone and Weakstone, so we do still have the 3 steps ahead. Yeah, with the additional spree costs and everything, we're at 20. We do survive if we block the Vanguard, which is my hope. But they know we have 3 steps ahead. So they might only swing with cards that can survive the block. It's going to be Peacekeeper. Yeah, brutal, brutal. So, we do have 1, 2. This is 5 mana just to do this, and we only have 6 mana total. Copy the synthesizer. Yeah, Thalia's brutal for this deck list. Yeah, the hope here is to survive the turn and see how much we can actually get going next turn too. So we don't need this other mountain, but the other 3 steps ahead could copy the synthesizer again. The 4/4. We're probably gonna take the 13. We gotta get these nice and chunky. Is there anything else we could see off the top that's a little better than that? Probably not. Okay, we'll just keep the 3 steps ahead and go for the copy on the synthesizer again. We take the 13 for the turn. Yeah, this is tough. This is tough for sure. First strike. If that was a trade, that would be beautiful. Unfortunately, anything they play from hand too will get haste from the Highlandale. Let's just take the 13 and just try to get these constructs just huge enough. I don't think we come out of this one alive. I feel like I also could have played it out much, much better too. So again, we'll only have 3 mana if we play the Celestus, which doesn't even leave a counterspell open for us because of that Thalia. Woo! Brutal stuff, huh? Now they don't know we have the other 3 steps ahead. So maybe we survive the turn. I highly doubt it. Let's see what they end up drawing here too. With 2 cards in hand. Gonna be a 6th mana. It's gonna be Sigarda. That's gonna be flying in the air anyways. Well, it'd be actually this would be a great counter, but we actually need more on the ground. Yeah, that would be a really, really good counterspell. Unfortunately, flying above our constructs, I don't know if it mattered too much. Anyways, regardless of what we would have actually kept open. So I guess if we would have countered, we wouldn't have had the blockers on the ground, which would have warranted the full swing anyways. Huge taxing there. Go ahead and do the 3 steps ahead while we're here, just to see the synthesizers do the thing. Unfortunately, nothing to take care of that early Thalia meant we were really, really struggling. So we were able to get the constructs. Hey! This tempo would have been pretty good. Well, crap. Yeah, because it was one less. It actually would have just been 2 mana. That would have been terrific. Wow, yeah, we could have actually bounced that back to hand, too. GG opponent. I can't realistically say that that was anyone's game, but I suppose if there was just a little bit of a different order, then maybe. As long as we don't see another Thalia list, I'm still feeling pretty confident about this list, right? The big problem, of course, is Thalia taxes like everything in here. I guess we did have a couple more artifact creatures that we could have seen. We were still a few mana away from a Jin-Gitaxias, right? Because we only had 5 on the board and a Power Stone. We struggled getting Celestus down because at 4 mana it just didn't seem worthwhile. See, like this hand, this would have been much, much better against a Thalia list. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to keep this, see how it does. Oaken Siren helps us ramp. Depends what we see on top, whether or not we're going to need that ramp or not. Also really just like that it's flying vigilant, so it can continuously poke through while still providing us that ramp as well. So Machine Over Matter is 1 mana. Mechanaut from the opponent. And we can't swing into that. But I'll gladly keep the blue open and get the Thran Spider down. Thran Spider has reach too, so. Alright. Machine Over Matter is 1 mana. Unfortunately, Thran Spider is probably going to help the opponent just as much as it's going to help us. So having 2 Thran Spiders here in hand, hopefully we're just able to do a little bit more. Synthesizer. Oh no, we should bounce that. We should totally bounce that. The Scry 2 is terrific, but we're going to need that tempo since we don't have our own synthesizer. Oh, Mechanaut with synthesizer is pretty cool. Still got 2 open. Wonder how many, if the opponent's running any counter spells. Probably the 3 steps ahead as well, right? Thran Spider. Oh, bro, thank you. We're just helping each other out. We're just pals. Oh, crap, the synthesizer. Crap, I confused myself. Oh, no. I really should have bounced the synthesizer before they got the construct. Oh, no, guys. Oh, geez. Well, crap. This is awkward. Okay. I'll still do it. It's a little bit of a tempo play that just doesn't matter too much. Hey! Our own synthesizer. Hi. Okay. Wow, we got a lot of mana for artifacts here. Alright, synthesizer. Yeah, I was just so excited that the Thran Spiders were helping each other out, or that, you know, the Thran Spiders are working for each other here. I don't know how to say that. Me and the opponent, we're just best friends right now, is what I'm trying to get at, right? This is really silly. Okay. No attacks. At this point, it's going to come down to who pops off first, and unfortunately, we're pretty far from the Jin-Gitaxias, but pretty much any artifact off the top would be terrific, and probably for the opponent as well. And let's not forget, their artifacts are 1 less to cast because of their Mechanaut too, so. I think this is heavily leaning towards the opponent, unfortunately. If I would have tempoed before the construct, I still think this would have been heavily leaning towards the opponent. Just based on what's going on right now in the game. So they go Mechanaut. That means their synthesizer's only 1 blue mana. So they still got 4 mana open because of all the Thran Spiders. Yeah, if I would have tempoed earlier, they'd be 1 construct down. Yeah, I don't know how much that would have mattered, honestly. They go Worldwalker Helm. Very nice. That creates a map token. And then they go for Brass Knuckles with the other Power Stones. Brass Knuckles. You cast a spell, copy it. Equipped creature has double strike. Oh, so there's the copy, so they actually get a couple. Oh, well, here I am. Here I am seeing some stuff that totally could have made the cut. Very cool, opponent. Like that. I like that a lot. All right, let's tap these. Tap the Siren. Let's see. We'll have 3 mana open. Let's go for the card draw. I think we're super dead. But we could see something here, I suppose. That's not gonna do too much, right? We could take out like a Mechanaut, I guess. Oh, Hulking Metamorph. Or Metaphor, as I like to say. I'm down. 2, 3. Yeah, we'll still have 2 open. So unfortunately, Jin-Gitaxias here, kind of just holding this up. We could copy Mightstone, Weakstone, just keep the Metamorph on the board and draw a couple more. But it's Synthesizer, right? Because getting an extra Synthesizer on the board might help us keep up pace. Gene over Matter. I think we keep the Mightstone, Weakstone, and I'm not sure how much this tempo is going to do for us right now when the opponent has the double Mechanauts on the board. So we keep all the blockers possible back. I think the opponent's going to go for that full swing next turn. No attacks. All right, dude. Funny little mirror match here. Opponent rocking that additional color, having Izzet, seems to be paying off really nicely. Mechanaut just looks terrific over there. With the constructs being at 17, 18, 18, Skitterbeam Battalion, full-blown Skitterbeam Battalion at 9 mana, guys. Here they come. 4 creatures at 27. They can't swing with the Mechanauts because we have the Thran Spider blocks. No, we don't, because we're gonna be forced to like full block here, pretty much. We're forced to chump. Block. Crap, using that Siren early on. Now we're gonna lose the double Synthesizer, unfortunately. So if we just take the 4 over here and just block with our constructs instead, then we get to keep the other Synthesizer, and maybe there's a small chance of popping off. Mightstone, Weakstone, draw into more things for the other Synthesizers. All right, taking 8. Do you think the opponent could have full swung, got a little bit more damage with the Mechanauts and everything? All right, Mightstone, Weakstone. Start with you, draw 2. Couple things off of our double Synthesizers. We want to keep the untapped one around. I'll tell you what, man. We don't have a way to give these haste, unfortunately, but this could do a lot. 3 steps ahead. 1, 2, 3. We won't have the 4. We go 4 for 3 steps ahead, copy Synthesizer. We'll only have 4 for the Mightstone, Weakstone. So we have to start with Mightstone, Weakstone, unfortunately. And then, yeah, we won't have the 3 steps ahead copy. Still, this is still something because we could still see another 3-drop too. Like Celestus, that's perfect, right? Mightstone, Weakstone. We still have 2 mana. Synthesizer. 15, 15. Look at how cool the opponent, like, look at this, dude. They have 7 map tokens over there. So no matter how much we ended up popping off, and Oaken Siren can't tap for the 3 steps ahead, but we'll keep it untapped anyways. All right. Pretty neat match overall, huh? The opponent definitely just has the full swing. Yeah, all these extra like map tokens and stuff on the World Walker Helm, definitely a card that we need to consider for our list too. This Brass Knuckles is a really cool budget-friendly option to get a couple 4-mana artifacts on the board for the price of 1 is really popping off with that synthesizer. So with their World Walker Helm, they're going 1 and a blue to tap it, create a token that's a copy of target artifact token you control, and they're copying the map token that originally came in with it as well. They go ahead and equip the Brass Knuckles to the Skitter Beam Battalion, giving it double strike. They can actually double strike as long as 2 or more equipments are attached to it. Oh, I see, I see. So they have to attach both of them to it then. I see, I see. Okay, here comes that full swing, huh? We're going to do our dandiest to block as much as we can and just see if we can go an extra turn just for fun. I'm like heavily leaning towards the opponent regardless. Actually, we might not even have the blocks necessary here, so let's see if we can go for chump blocks. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Synthesizer number 2. We could take the 8 over here, actually, and lose our constructs here. All of those are blocked. 1, 2. Oh, we'll take the 6 then, like that. The double strike doesn't get through. 4, 6, down to 12, and they didn't block with the Mechanauts. Yeah, at 12, taking 6, down to 6. The Mechanauts would have been an extra 4. All right. I think I blocked everywhere. I might have missed something, honestly. There's a lot going on this board. Oh my goodness. The opponent has nothing in hand. Could you imagine if we actually had a way to get that 19 through? Unfortunately, they have like these huge construct blockers, and they kept chump blockers back too, just in case there was a way for us to pop off, I suppose. And Jin just chilling. Nothing we can do about that. At 7 mana and all the extra ramp and everything. That's one of the reasons when I went over the deck why I said I was pretty sketched out only having 24 mana in here, so. With all this extra, they go ahead, plug the Brass Knuckles onto... Oh. Soaring City's interesting. That is interesting. We go... we still only have 4. Celestus could start the turn off with our Power Stones. Big thing here, of course, we want to pop off as much as possible with the synthesizer. I believe this is the opponent's, so let's just do that. Let's go 3 steps ahead, get some draw, and get a copy here. Wait, we don't have the 6 to pay. Oh, yes, we do. Celestus. So we will go ahead and copy the synthesizer here. There's the 6. And we still have 6 mana total. Oh, no. It's just land, guys. Well, we could have done something cool. Because we still have 6 mana total that can be spent towards... Oh, another synthesizer. Wow. Anyways, that can be spent towards artifacts. I suppose there could have been something cool here. Get the island down, and then Soaring City, we can use that channel ability. Which I will gladly do. On the giant construct right here, using a timeout because there's just so much going on, right? And we will get that swing because we are super dead next turn. You guys will have to let me know. Do you appreciate that I play these out for fun, or would you just prefer that I concede, get into the next game? I tend to like playing them out. That's my preference, but sometimes I get mixed opinions about it in the comments. So definitely let me know. Opponent's Gonna go ahead, take that 13 down to 6 there. Or Jin-Gitaxias. Hopefully we get to see this actually do the thing today, and then maybe talk about going up to 25 if we just never get it down. But there's other ways to get it down outside of spending the mana for it. So, all right. So we block. Good game, opponent. Yeah, fun little mirror match. Opponent's Is It list looking powerful. I like it. The Synthesizer just seems like such a good card, such a good build-around card. There's going to be so many different ways to piece these deck lists together, and I wonder what the most optimized is. Is it looking pretty fire over there, I gotta say. All right, guys, 30 minutes in, we gotta keep going. We gotta get a victory for sure. We gotta get this Jin-Gitaxias down too, so hopefully we still have like 2 more matches in the evening here. See what we can pull off. All right, let's... I don't know about this one, actually. I don't know. We go first. All right, we'll give it a shot. I don't know how much I like the hand. We got some early tempo if we need it. The 3 steps ahead copies were sick, but in the first game we got taxed too much to do too much with 3 steps ahead. In the second game, our 3 steps ahead... Oh, a Synthesizer, nice. In the second game there, our 3 steps ahead was just like... we were just completely lagging behind the opponent's list, so... we'll see, we'll see. Some good old-fashioned tempo is going to be good if it's a 2-drop. Ooh, nice. Very nice, yep. Like I said, good old-fashioned tempo here. Wow, it's still not the end. There we go. All right, Smelter. Put that back in your hand. Lose that counter. 3 mana. Let's get that Synthesizer down. Unfortunately, this is a tap land, but at least we're establishing here. I'm going to send both of these, even though seeing duplicates is good. We already have 1 in hand, and there's 4 total in the deck, too, so I'm going to just send them. I don't know if that's what we want to see right now. Although, duplicate Mightstone Weakstones tend to be pretty good. Especially with the Synthesizer on the board, too. Scary thing against Mono Red is some of them do run a Braid, so we could get just absolutely obliterated if the opponent has a couple of Braids packed in. Okay, Mono Red Artifacts. Okay. I guess I should have guessed that already from the Smelter. They go for the Play with Fire on their turn while we're tapped out. Okay. Down to 14, we should be a little bit afraid. 3 steps ahead, we don't have the copy. We could keep the counter open, or we could just get the Oaken Siren down, have a blocker for the Epicure, or an emergency blocker if we need it. And if we don't need it, we ramp into Mightstone Weakstone, even if we don't see a mana off the top. I like that. Of course, they could easily burn the Siren away, but then that's like a Play with Fire that's not hitting our face, too. And if we don't see a mana off the top, then we'll still have Hulking Metamorph to copy the Synthesizer next turn. So there's a lot of things going on here. They do burn the Siren. That's 3 that's not hitting our face. So Siren kinda did its job for now. It's gonna be Smelter. Down to 11. Celestus. All right. Well, I guess it's still going to be Metamorph. I just always like seeing Celestus, if you guys can't tell. That's funny. All right, let's get this Metamorph down. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Progress Tyrant, Nexus of Becoming. Dude. Wow. Oh, but I need more mana on the board. Do I? I'm keeping these. Call me crazy, dude. Call me crazy. Because next turn, I'm going to try for Celestus. We get another 2 constructs anyways. They go for the... Oh, they go for the Adversary. They're going to pop our Synthesizer. And now our construct's only a 2/2. We're going to be forced to block here for sure. Luckily, they don't have an extra mana. They keep the Smelter back. That's good news. Oh, they keep the Epicure back. That's bad news. Oh, crap, dude. Oh, crap. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down to 4. Wow. I should have mulliganed. Ah, that was so greedy. It was so greedy. What are the odds that they do a Bloodthirsty Adversary next turn? No blocks. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. I already opted for the greed this game, so we're just going all in. Celestus. Okay, couple 4/4s on the board. Pass it back. Let's see the death. With 2 cards in hand, it's almost a guarantee that we die here. Oh, another Smelter. And mana. Oh, with the Smelters, they can pop the... And then they get 3/1s, and the 3/1s have haste. Oh, yeah, dude, we're super dead. Oh, we would have died even with a block last turn, too. Oh, losing that Synthesizer? Oh, buddy. Very nice opponent. Artifact's still really doing the thing. Very nice. Good game. They also had a Play with Fire in hand, too. Holy cow, dude. We wouldn't have stood a chance there at all. Honestly, the double Smelters helping them go wide, that was huge, too. Everything about that. I mean, the opponent just really had it. And I can't even be mad about it, too, because, like, when you see a different version of Mono Red and that different version is still popping off, you gotta be a little bit satisfied. Like, as a Mono Red player, I am proud of our last opponent. That was sick stuff. Other than that, I feel like we had a lot, too, didn't we? If I would have mulliganed, maybe we could have seen, like, the 5th mana off the top or something as well. All right, dude, I snap keep that because I see Synthesizer and the 3 mana we need to get there. That's all I needed to see. Now we look at the rest of it. Tempo, 3 steps ahead, I hope does a little bit more today than what we saw it do so far. And Mightstone and Weakstone will definitely come in handy when it comes time. So far, I do think we're going to want 25 mana. And the final thoughts, we're probably going to change the deck up a little bit as I've been doing. It's going to start with 25 mana and then figuring out what to cut. As far as the early tempo goes, it doesn't feel that great right now. It might just be how I'm playing it as well, though. Hello, opponent. We don't get many hellos, so I make sure to try to drop it back. Duress! Get out of my hand, opponent, you monster! Not the Synthesizer! No! My soul! Dude, you know what's scary? We've been seeing a lot of mono black discard. We even see some Orzhov discard, too, and they are terrifying. Alright, they know we have 3 steps ahead, so they probably don't play anything important here. Oh. I mean, I'll take that counter. That's totally fine. That's a pretty good counter for us. At this point, it's a 3 mana card for a 3 mana card, but Liliana's really good, so... 4th mana comes down. Got some tempo. Golgari! Oh my. Use that tempo. See, mana off the top would be ideal, but... Oh dear. Oh dear. So another reason to consider that 25th mana for sure. Yeah, we'll tempo it again. Sheoldred? What Sheoldred? Mana! Mightstone, Weakstone. Restock this hand and keep us in this game. Stone, Weakstone, Oaken Siren. Dude, this would have been so good early on. Maybe we're seeing things in a little bit of a bad order as well. That's very possible. Thran Spider. We have the Inner Sun. Start getting value that way. We should probably take care of this Sheoldred while we can, though. Nah. Nah, every other game was just like straight up greed. We might as well keep the ball rolling with the greed, right? We'll keep the blue open to just make them scared, I guess. Discover 5, 3 steps ahead. So when you're paying the extra cost on the spree, do we get to do them for free off of Discover as long as it's less than 5? Or is it always an extra cost? Actually, I have no idea right now. Yes, you have to pay the extra cost, as you can see here. Pay the extra 3. Okay. So we send this to hand, then put in hand. So not the greatest hit off of the Inner Sun by any means then. Trespasser comes down. Against Golgari, our artifacts are going to always be in danger from cards like Tear Asunder. There's actually a lot in Golgari that could always do stuff like that. So before we draw, we can copy Mightstone, Weakstone, and pop the Shieldred to not take the 2. But I think I'm just gonna accept the damage to keep as much open mana as possible, and use the Mightstone, Weakstone to play one of these guys. 2, 3. We'll have Hall open. We'll actually have the 3rd Mightstone, Weakstone open, actually. So we keep you. Pop the Shieldred. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, yeah, they do have 2 mana open, so. Just dump some creatures on the board. I'm okay with that. Thran Spider blocks the Trespasser well. Oaken Siren comes down. Now this is the game where Jin-Gitaxias would be terrific on this board, but guess what, guys? We still don't have enough mana to cast it. I think that really says something. Oaken Siren, let's get that down. Yeah, keeping the 3 steps ahead there instead of dumping creatures on the board could have been pretty good too. It could have meant like a counter. For the 2nd Shieldred, for example, that would have been a really good counter. Right, so same thing. I'm gonna just accept the damage. We have the 3rd Mightstone, Weakstone. We'll take care of it that way, rather than the 3 steps ahead. More mana off the top. I don't mind seeing it. Two, 3, 4 available for the copy, if we want to copy it. Shieldred needs to die regardless. I suppose we'll play the island. No, we'll keep the island for now in case we have to discard it. We'll only play the island when we need the 7th for a Jin-Gitaxias. And then 3 steps ahead has the copy open. Let's go ahead and see what we hit on the Inner Sun. Synthesizer, there we go. All right, now we got to start. Now we really got to start just outpacing. We'll send the island, keep the 3 steps ahead because copy that Synthesizer as much as possible sounds really good. Okay. Deep Cavern Bat gonna take the 3 steps ahead. So I suppose we'll use it right now then, right? Use the copy. Copy the Synthesizer. Instead of letting them take it with the Deep Cavern Bat. Okay, it goes through. That is good news, man. Very good news. Because they could have popped it if it was like Tear Asunder or something. The 4th Mightstone, Weakstone. You know what, man? I'm going to keep it. The match that proves multiple Mightstone, Weakstones is actually just pretty darn good. Ooh, Sunslayer. Luckily, that's just a straight target enchantment if that gets through. As far as the discard goes, I suppose we can activate 3 steps ahead before we discard too. The Sunslayer is going to be a bit of a problem overall. Swing with the Siren. Opponent goes down to 20. Yeah, First Strike Death Touch is a wild blocker, but the other Mightstone, Weakstone too is going to be really good. Maybe we do the copy. No. We have enough mana where we can actually use a counterspell and... Oh, that's right. We were going to discover whatever was on top anyways. So honestly, that's fine. Because now we do this and we can take out the Sunslayer. They drop the GG. We'll pass it back. I don't know if that good game was for us or for them. So I'm going to wait to drop the GG. Because I guess they could drop like a crazy board wipe or something. But then we're always reestablished with the synthesizers until they take care of it. So, all right. Now we take the blocker out of the equation. And we'll draw here too. We'll copy the Mightstone, Weakstone because that's just disgusting. Discard a card. GG opponent. Hey, very important thing here real quick. At the end, just in case, it didn't end up mattering there. But just in case, hey, slowly but surely ranking up through gold. Okay, I did the auto tap, and we definitely wanted to tap the Hall to keep a blue source open because there is always a chance where you see this machine over matter. Since we had artifact creatures, it's only 1 blue mana. So honestly, it could have mattered. We were going to go -5 on the Glisa, and you know, that extra blue could have bounced like the Trespasser back to hand. No, it couldn't have, the ward cost. Well, you never know. It could have mattered. So watch out for the auto tapper when we're running this many of the utility lands as well. The deck finally did a thing, guys. Against Golgari, too. Let's go. Bro. Okay, we got to talk about this list for sure. Norn's Inquisitor. Nice. Okay. Let's go to the deck list here. Big Blue. All right. What do I have to say about this? Kind of felt like we were seeing things out of order often. Is that because of the curve? I don't know. Here, give me 1 second, guys. I gotta pause the recording real quick. Okay, anyways, guys, no more distractions. What do we have to say about the list? Poor Jin-Gitaxias. Poor little buddy. We did not get to actually see it here today. So unfortunately, well, we're going to have to revisit Jin-Gitaxias one more time before it rotates out, right? Right? I have no idea. Rotation's right around the corner, as far as I know. I guess I still don't have confirmation on when rotation actually is. Let me know in the comments if you guys know for sure. So, Progress Tyrant being at 7 mana when all of our ramp actually only affects our artifacts, I thought it was going to work out, especially when we still have like a Nexus of Becoming, which unfortunately we didn't really get to see today either. I had that really greedy line of play where I scryed 2 and kept Becoming on top and then Jin-Gitaxias underneath it. And I thought that was going to work out nicely. Unfortunately, the opponent popped off really well, which, you know, we could actually have more things on the early game to help us survive a little bit better. When you're rocking mono blue, though, it has to be like very specific stuff. Speaking of which, hold on before I forget this. Yeah, speaking of the Jin-Gitaxias being at 7 mana, boy, that's expensive. Let's go ahead. Also, Celestus helps ramp into the Jin as well, so that's definitely something to consider as well. Let's go up the 25th mana, and let's have it be utility mana. You know, my initial gut feeling was 24 for the list, and then went over the deck list at the beginning here, and I brought up how it's a little bit sketchy because it is a very expensive things, but we have so much ramp packed in. We could get away with it. Unfortunately, that just meant Jin sat in our hand most games. So going up the Soaring City, like extra utility, now if you do end up flooding out because you are seeing too much ramp or something like that, at the very least you can use like the second Soaring City as utility, or both Soaring Cities for that matter, right? You might see a little bit of everything else here. Be very careful with Auto Tapper. There's going to be a lot of moments where you still want to keep like 1 blue open with your machine over matter. All that extra tempo is really going to matter. And then also, speaking of mattering, with the Jin on the board, cards like Machine Over Matter become much more powerful, as now you're returning 2 target non-land permanents, and that amount of tempo is really good, especially just the fact that it's non-land permanents too, like instead of just creatures like Fading Hope or something. Okay, is there anything else? Guys, while I have you here at the end of the video, first of all, y'all are champions for real. Thank you so much for being here. But then also, down in the description, we have that Patreon link as well as that Discord link if you're interested in joining either of those up. For joining the Patreon, one of the main benefits is actually just the guaranteed patron suggestion, which I bring up all the time, that the order of priority for suggestions and taking suggestions here on the channel goes Patreon first, then Discord, then comments. And this was a comment suggestion, so I do my dandiest to get around to as many as possible, but definitely some of them do fall through the cracks. So, okay, what else do I want to say, guys? Mightstone, Weakstone as a 4 of. Every time we play with Mightstone, Weakstone in a big style deck like this, usually it's like big red or something, right? And then having that extra card draw in big red is like really, really good. But every time we play with it, it's kind of like the MVP in these deck lists, dude. It's just so good when you're playing with big artifacts. Oh, in our honorable mentions, guys. Oh, we also have to drop one card too, by the way. I'm not going to forget about that, hopefully. So in our honorable mentions, we actually had the Cityscape Leveler. I am sure that if I just type in city, yeah, that nothing else would really come up. Oh yeah, Under City Sewers. Oh yeah, Soaring City. Huh. There's 3 cards in Standard that have city in the title, guys. Anyways, Cityscape Leveler. Man, just more removal would be good, huh? So one of the big reasons I skipped out on Leveler is because when you cast the spell, and whenever it attacks, of course, you destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. So as far as casting it goes, you know, it's not an ETB, but you still get the... You still get to do the destroy if it attacks too, and the unearth could really come in handy, and you're discarding sometimes off of like 3 steps ahead. How about we consider, how good was Thran Spider? What if we drop a couple Thran Spider and go up 1 Cityscape Leveler and that land? How do we feel about that? It's one less Power Stone ramp for our late game. Ah, poor Jin. Poor Jin. Speaking of suggestions, I have to apologize to that comment suggestion for wanting mono blue Jin, but it's just not doing what I thought it would do in here, unfortunately. Guys, if you have a better idea than what I had here today for the Jin-Gitaxias in mono blue, let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll revisit this in the upcoming couple months before rotation. But maybe not too. So if we drop the Jin, the Soaring City, now we have the 25 mana and less reasons to have the 25 mana in here. No, I'm going to keep the double Jin just because that was the main suggestion, and I still kind of believe in it for this, especially now that we have the 25 mana. I'm still thinking about that Cityscape Leveler too, just additional top-end removal. Could have been really, really good. So just, again, with the Cityscape Leveler, you can't like copy it with like a 3 steps ahead and get the ETB, but you know, copying it anyways on the opponent's turn and then swinging with the extra leveler on your turn could still be really, really good. So now we need to drop 2 of something, and I'm thinking it's the Thran Spider. I'm leaning towards dropping it down to just 2 Thran Spider instead. So it's more mana overall. It's less ramp. It's less artifact creatures too for the machine over matter. Not much less though, because you'll have the leveler still. I'm trying to work this out, but I don't like how it's looking now. What if, okay, hear me out. 3 steps ahead, down to 3. Thran Spider, down to 3. Maybe. Oaken Siren. Is Oaken Siren better in this scenario than the Thran Spider? No, it's not actually. Thran Spider's a little better because it gives us more artifacts to hit with the synthesizer. So maybe Thran Spider 4. We're kind of like working through what was worth it in those games. And we only played 4 matches, by the way, which is after 4 matches, it's already pretty sketchy changing anything with the list that you're not confident on. So I'm trying to work this through. What do you guys think? How does that look? The 1 Cityscape Leveler will definitely come in handy. 3 steps ahead. 3 Oaken Sirens. 4 Thran Spiders, keeping us nice and stocked up. See, the big problem with Thran Spider is it keeps the opponent nice and stocked up on the Power Stones too. So when you are in a mirror match, hopefully it's doing more for you. That's going to come down to you guys, I think. What would the best order look like to you guys? Honestly, I could see dropping down to 3 Thran Spiders and actually going up that second Cityscape Leveler too. But again, it's even less ramp here early on. With the Cityscape Leveler too, it doesn't really pair well with the Nexus of Becoming. Because again, it's not an ETB effect, it's a cast effect. It's less to hit on the Discover 5 and the Discover 4 too. And by the way, the tap land on this hidden cave did hold us up that one game. Is definitely noteworthy. Something with the Metamorph too, if we would have dropped down the Thran Spider, the Metamorph also copies Thran Spider really well because you'll get that ETB as it enters as the creature. So you get the ETB on the Thran Spider, giving you even more ramp for your top end artifacts. And the double portal to Phyrexia is going to be excellent regardless. See, we didn't even get to do that, right? We didn't even get the discard on the 3 steps ahead for the Jin and then like bring it back with portal or something. It was really, really difficult to get this Jin. Okay, guys, we're like 56 minutes in. Hopefully I changed the deck well enough here. It was really hard to decide what to take out, what to add. So up to 25 mana, we went up 1 Soaring City just for more utility, and the Legendary isn't going to hold you up nearly as much as you would think. We went up a Cityscape Leveler and dropped a 3 steps ahead and dropped an Oaken Siren too, and hopefully that'll make it a little bit more consistent as well. All right, either way, oh, by the way, probably put it on the do not craft list, right? There's a lot of very expensive things in here, and I think there's going to be something better than mono blue to run Synthesizer in, like for sure. I'm pretty sure going to be some 2-color decks or some 3-color decks where Synthesizer pops off much, much more effectively. So that's all very noteworthy. All right, guys. Hey, I will see you in the next video.